All right. Hello, everyone. I think I am live. How is everybody doing today? Everyone hanging in there, feeling good? How's everyone doing? All right. Catherine says she voted today. Long lines. Yeah, I've heard a lot of long lines, a lot of early votes too. So it's a big election. It's going to have a big turnout, I feel. All right. Well, today I'm going to be focusing in on the election day predictions. And so if you watched a couple weeks ago, I tapped into some of the Senate races, some of the presidential states, even some House races and governor races. I feel very calmly, but cautiously optimistic. I feel pretty good about the election. The election. Um, like I said, I do feel like it's going to be a bit of a madhouse. Challenges to the results and all of that. So feels like we'll be kind of going through it for a little bit, um, but we're going to focus in on the races today. I did write out some of the Senate races. We'll compare what I got a couple weeks ago to what the energy feels like now. So I wrote out all the Senate races. We'll do some state races, and uh, and then I'll take any questions from the chat on House races or governor's races. Okay. All right. Becky's saying it's a Bailey's and coffee kind of day. Love it. Yes. And I voted a few weeks ago, but I grabbed an extra sticker just so I could wear it for today. So please make sure, I'm sure most of you already have or are planning on it, but obviously go out and vote. We can't be complacent. Make sure you get your family and friends out to vote too. Okay. Yeah, turnout is high everywhere. All right. So I wrote out all of the Senate races. And so we're going to go through those. I will say just a couple things before we get into that, just a couple things that came through. My guides told me to watch Kansas, wants us all to watch Kansas. Now, I don't know if that means it's going blue, and we'll look at that today. Um, but it feels very similar to like that Iowa poll that had Harris up 3 by Ann Seltzer, which I thought was really interesting. I did post on my community board about that. Now, I still feel like Iowa may be just leaning red, but I think it's going to get much closer. But I think a lot of Republicans and a lot of women are going to come out that are Republicans, and maybe there's some energy to watch about for Kansas. So we'll take a look at Kansas today too. I would be kind of shocked if it went blue, but we'll see what the energy looks like. And then just a couple other things. And I've kind of off and on felt a bit lightheaded and nauseous, which to me is how my guides will show like there's earth activity. So just a note for those on the West Coast. I did say at our last week's show, I felt some activity on the West Coast, and there was one off the coast of Oregon. Um, but yeah, keep that in mind too if you're on the West Coast. I do feel like there's going to be some more earthquake activity. All right. I think while we wait for people to join us, I'll just do a quick card throw on the energy of the election today. Yeah, and I did see that there was a poll, I think, that Trump was only up 5 in Kansas. So there might be something to that. We'll take a look. But let's just take a look at the energies today. And I also want to know, too, if we're going to know the winner tonight, or see if we can get a timeline of when the winner is announced. I do think Trump will probably say he won prematurely, but I don't think that anybody would be shocked by that, right? All right, let's just take a look at the energy. Election day today in the US. All right, let's see. We have women. Okay, interesting. So we have the Temperance card, which is all coming into balance, moderation. It's a card of being patient. Um, and then we have the White House coming in too. Women coming out with the Empress. So women will be making their voices heard. Also, I think a lot of enthusiasm for our first female president, Kamala Harris. But I do feel like there's a lot of people going within, and I think that this is going to be very healing for our country, even though it may take some time. Now, we have a lot of success coming in with this reading, Six of Wands. You know, this can be a bit of a, this is celebrating your accomplishments, feeling rewarded, but there is a bit of a sadness crossing the reading too. And going out to the future, you have the Emperor, which is the dictator, somebody that's, you know, controlling, very dominant. I think we can say who that is with my Republican card. So the Republicans are going to be fighting back. I think it's going to be abysmal for their loss with the Four Swords, but it's also they've been planning this for a while, and it's all to delay things. So we do have the Hangman, and I feel like I always get that on this election. So I think we'll have a good idea of who the winner is today, but there are delays with that. Okay. But Ace of Pentacles, so people coming out and voting, new opportunities coming in. I don't know. I feel good, but I do feel like there's a lot of chaos towards the end of the night. And I think we'll know why, because Donald Trump, this is his only shot of staying out of prison. So he'll do anything to hang into power. All right. All we can do is vote, get our friends and family out to vote, and know that, you know, keep that positive intention and, you know, do your best to stay out of the fear. And then let it go, you know. That's all we can do. And I think, you know, astrology-wise, I think November is a bit of a tough month. So, all right. So I have all the states, and we'll go through and do the pendulum. Now I will say how I do the pendulum. I don't know why. Every time I use the pendulum, somebody always makes a comment about it. But this is how I use the pendulum. Everybody can use it differently. It's just a tool to communicate with your guides. But I'll ask the pendulum to show me yes. And for me, a yes is a clockwise circle. I'll look backwards for you because of the video, and it's giving me my yes. Can you show me no using the pendulum? My no is a counterclockwise circle. And if the energy is unclear or it's a little murky, can you show me if the energy is unclear what that would look like? Or maybe. And for me, it goes back and forth. For maybe. All right. So we're going to start off with the Senate races. Let me make a little bit of a note. And I'll go through the states that I wrote down. I did write down mostly battleground states, or a couple states that I've had my eye on. If anybody wants me to check another state afterwards, just tell me the state and the two people running, and I can do that for you, okay? All right, so we're going to start off first with Pennsylvania. And the two running, we had Democrat Bob Casey and Republican Dave McCormick. And when we were on it last time, we got Casey winning, but let's see what the energy feels like today. Is Bob Casey going to win the Senate race in Pennsylvania? And we got a big yes. Clockwise circle. So I still feel Bob Casey's going to win. We'll ask Dave McCormick wins. Will Dave McCormick win the Pennsylvania Senate race today? And he's getting a no. All right. So Pennsylvania stays Democratic with Bob Casey. Let's go to Florida. Now, 2 weeks ago when I read, I did feel like Rick Scott was going to win that race, the Republican incumbent, but he's running against Debbie Murkowski-Powell, so we'll see if the energy shifted there at all. Is Rick Scott going to win the Senate race in Florida today? Oh, the pendulum's saying no. No. All right. Will Debbie Murkowski-Powell win the Senate race in Florida today? She's getting a no, too. Interesting. Let's ask it this way. Because we know Florida is one of those states that are a little murky. Does Debbie Murkowski-Powell win the Florida Senate race, but isn't the next senator of Florida? Does she win the race, but she's not sworn in? I'm getting a yes. Will Rick Scott be sworn in as a senator from Florida in 2025? Yes. So it looks like Debbie Murkowski-Powell is the real winner, but because of lawsuits or shenanigans, Rick Scott will be sworn in, is what I'm getting. And we had gotten Rick Scott winning it last time. All right. I can only tell you what the pendulum says or what I'm picking up intuitively. And I've said for a while, Florida, Texas, Georgia, those states feel a bit murky to me. Don't use the word today. Well, today's election day, so today will be the day that they're. I asked who would be sworn in. I got Rick Scott. All right. Yes, election day's finally arrived. We're all here. All right. So next up, I have Montana. John Tester versus Tim Sheehy. And I know that Tim Sheehy's been getting a lot of backlash because he's lied about being shot. And I don't know. I just don't feel like he's very popular. So I know that it's been a bit of a fight, a battle for John Tester. But let's ask, will John Tester win the Montana Senate race? We're getting a yes. Yeah, okay, I agree. I thought Beto really won too. Will Tim Sheehy win the Montana Senate race? Let me ask it again because my hand hit it. Will Tim Sheehy win the Montana Senate race? No. It'll be close, but no. Yeah, and we got John Tester winning the last time I ran on it, okay? All right. Ohio, Bernie Moreno versus Sherrod Brown. Will Bernie Moreno win the Ohio Senate race? I'm getting it was going from maybe to no. It'll be close, but no. All right. Will Sherrod Brown win the Ohio Senate race? Getting a small yes. So it'll be a bit of a squeaker, I feel, but I do feel Sherrod Brown winning Ohio. That's what we got last time. All right, next up is Texas. Colin Allred versus Ted Cruz. Will Colin Allred win the Texas Senate race? We're getting a yes. Will Ted Cruz win the Texas Senate race? No. Big no right off the bat. Now let's ask if Colin Allred will be sworn in as a senator. Will Colin Allred be sworn in as a Texas senator? It's like a maybe. I want to say more of a yes than a no. But I think I'd said before, don't be surprised if there's court cases on the Texas result. We're going to keep it with Colin Allred flipping Texas and kicking Ted Cruz out. All right. All right. Next up, I have Missouri, Josh Hawley versus Lucas Coons. When I read on it last time, I got a very slight yes for Lucas Coons. Is Josh Hawley going to win the Missouri Senate race? It's like maybe to no, so it's going to be tight. I'm feeling no. All right. Will Lucas Coons win the Missouri Senate race? I'm getting a very slight yes to that. So that's going to be another nail biter, I feel. But it looks like Lucas Coons wins. That's what we got last time. All right, next up I have Arizona, Ruben Gallego versus Kari Lake. All right, will Ruben Gallego win the Arizona Senate race? Getting a yes. Will Kari Lake win the Arizona Senate race? No. I think people are tired of Kari Lake. So, and I'd said all along when Kirsten Sinema had that seat, she would be out. And I think Ruben Gallego said he was running against her, and I felt he was going to win then too. So keep that with Ruben Gallego. Next up, I have Nebraska, Deb Fisher versus Dan Osborne. All right. Will Deb Fisher win the Nebraska Senate race? Big no. No. Will Dan Osborne win the Nebraska Senate race? And we're getting a big yes. I think they really like Dan Osborne in Nebraska. I know he's an independent, and I think he will. I don't see him caucusing with either side. I think he'll be pretty down the middle. But and I got last time Dan Osborne was going to win too. So, all right, that is 3 Republican seats flipping. Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin versus Eric Hoovdy. Will Tammy Baldwin win the Wisconsin Senate race? Get a yes. All right. Will Eric Hoofdy win the Wisconsin Senate race? No. And those are big yeses and nos. So Tammy Baldwin feels safe for me. Michigan, Alyssa Slotkin versus Mike Rogers. Will Alyssa Slotkin win the Michigan Senate race? I'm getting a very slight yes. There we go. That may be a close one too. Will Mike Rogers win the Michigan Senate race? He's got a no. So it looks like it's Alyssa Slotkin. Now, I don't know if there's other people in that race running on like a third party, but it looks like Alyssa Slotkin wins, but it'll be a bit tight. All right. Yeah, I think Omaha's going to turn out big this time too, Kelly. All right. Maryland, Larry Hogan versus Angela Alsobrooks. Will Larry Hogan win the Maryland Senate race? We're getting a no. Will Angela Alsobrooks win the Maryland Senate race? Yep, feeling good about Angela Alsobrooks. We got her winning last time as well. All right. I have Tennessee, and then I have Nevada. So if anybody else wants me to look at another race for the Senate, give me the state and the Democrat and Republican running, okay? All right. Will Marsha Blackburn win the Tennessee Senate race? Sorry, you guys, I'm getting a yes. We got her winning last time as well. Will Gloria Johnson win the Tennessee Senate race? Yeah, getting a no for Gloria Johnson. But I do feel like Gloria Johnson is destined to be a senator at some point. It just might not be this election, you guys. So, and I know that that's a race that really hasn't been really invested in. So, but right now I get Marsha Blackburn winning. And then my last race that I have written down, Nevada, Jackie Rosen and Republican Sam Brown. Will Jackie Rosen win the Nevada Senate race? We're getting a yes. Will Sam Brown win the Nevada Senate race? No. No, it looks like that stays with Jackie Rosen. All right. And I did feel like the West Virginia race, the Republican was going to win that, which would give us a 50-50 Senate. Now, with the races that are competitive, it looks like Democrats will have 52. Dan Osborne's an independent that will kind of go and caucus with both sides. So 52 to 47 sounds right to me. I think I'd said I'd felt like 2-seat gains, 2 or 3. So, all right. Oh, Kelly says that she had friends that said that they straight up voted for Hogan twice for the governors, but not today. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, Maryland's pretty Democratic, and maybe they don't mind in their state governor a Republican that's moderate, but when it comes to actually, like federal, the Senate, they want a Democrat in there. All right, Andy Kim versus Bashaw, New Jersey. Will Andy Kim win the New Jersey Senate race? Get a yes for Andy Kim. And I had said I felt New Jersey staying blue. All right. Will Adam Schiff win the California Senate race? Yes. Adam Schiff's going to stay. Well, California's going to stay Democratic. Schiff's going to win that race. All right. Do we have any others? I got Scott winning, Cynthia. Well, actually, I got Debbie winning, but Scott would be sworn in. Gascon. What state is this, Brady? This is an obsidian stone for my pendulum. Yeah, also Brooks is running in Maryland. What state am I reading on? Is that Indiana? Well, we'll see if Brady sends me the state. Yeah, I feel Klobuchar is going to win, but we'll ask the pendulum. Will Amy Klobuchar win the Minnesota Senate race? Yes. Yep, Klobuchar will retain that seat. California. I read on California, I got Schiff winning. Is that a House race? I'm just focusing on Senate races right now. I did do Holly in Missouri. It looks like Kuntz just barely wins. It will be close. All red wins is what I got. All right, you guys. I went through I think most of the Senate races, so if you missed it, you'll have to watch the replay, okay? All right. So let's focus in on presidential states. And then if you have House races or governor races that you want me to look at, um, we'll do that, okay? We've been on for about a half an hour, so. Utah, I feel like is going to stay red, but if this is a Senate race, is John Curtis going to win? Will John Curtis win the Utah Senate race? I don't know who that is. I'm getting a no. Will Caroline Gleek win the Utah Senate race? I'm feeling more Caroline Gleek, so I don't know which one's a Democrat or Republican, or if that is a Senate race, but I'm getting Caroline Gleek winning. All right. I went through all of the Senate races, so you need to go back and watch the replay. I'm not going over it all again. I'm sorry, you guys. It's all there. It will be pre-recorded, okay? All right, so for some of the states I wrote down for the presidential, I wanted to focus in on the battleground states. And we'll take a look at Florida, Texas, Iowa, and Ohio. And my guide said keep an eye out on Kansas. So we'll take a look at Kansas too, okay? All right. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Florida? Will Kamala Harris win the state of Florida? I'm getting a no, which is what I got last time. I'm sorry to say for everybody in Florida. But like I said in that Senate race too, Florida's pretty murky, okay? We'll leave it at that. I have to be careful with what I say. Will Donald Trump win the state of Florida? We got Trump winning. Now, hopefully I'm wrong with that, but I do feel like Florida stays red. All right, Georgia. I said before Georgia felt murky too, but I do feel Kamala doing better in Georgia, like a lot of energy kind of picking up around her. But let's see what the pendulum says. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Georgia in the 2024 elections? We're getting a yes. Yes to Georgia for Harris. Will Donald Trump win the Georgia presidential race? Will Donald Trump win the state of Georgia in the 2024 presidential election? No. So it looks like we keep Georgia after all. Let's take a look at North Carolina. I feel very good about Democrats in North Carolina. Will Kamala Harris win North Carolina in the 2024 presidential election? We're getting a big yes. And I think Harris can thank that crazy governor on the Republican side for getting Democrats out and voting blue. I don't remember his name. Robinson, I think. Will Donald Trump win the state of North Carolina in the 2024 presidential election? No. So Harris flips North Carolina, which is what I got last time. Oh. Pennsylvania. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Pennsylvania? We're getting a yes for Pennsylvania going blue. Will Donald Trump win the state of Pennsylvania in the 2024 presidential election? Big no. So Harris winning Pennsylvania. Now let's check in Ohio. I feel like it's going to be a much narrower margin, but my intuitive feeling is it still goes Trump 2 or 3 points. And Iowa feels kind of similar. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Ohio in the 2024 presidential election? No, but it's like a very small no. Will Donald Trump win the state of Ohio in the 2024 presidential election? Yeah, it looks like Ohio Trump keeps by a couple points is what I'm feeling. All right. Michigan. Yeah, I mean, if you already go off of these battleground states, I think she's already got the 270. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Michigan in the 2024 presidential election? We're getting a yes. A very small yes. Michigan may be tight. And I think Slotkin won, but it was tight too. Getting a small yes for Michigan. Will Donald Trump win Michigan in the 2024 presidential election? And he's getting a no. So Michigan stays blue is what I'm getting. All right, Wisconsin. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Wisconsin in the 2024 presidential election? Oh, it's acting weird. Will Kamala Harris of Wisconsin in the 2024 presidential election? I'm getting a maybe, but it's actually kind of going to a no. That's a bit of a surprise. Will Donald Trump win the state of Wisconsin in the 2024 presidential election? See, that wants to say no too. So Wisconsin, I can tell you, is probably going to be one of those contested races. Will the state of Wisconsin's electoral counts be challenged? I'm getting a yes for Wisconsin's votes being challenged. Will Kamala Harris be declared the winner of the state of Wisconsin for the 2024 presidential election? I'm getting a yes, but it looks like there's a legal challenge there. But Harris winning. Okay. I have Iowa up next, Karen. We'll get to it. And I think Wisconsin is normally pretty split. All right. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Iowa in the 2024 presidential elections? See, the pendulum's saying yes. Wouldn't that be awesome? But see, that's where I find it hard to believe Iowa turning blue, but Wisconsin being a challenge. Will Donald Trump win the state of Iowa in the 2024 presidential elections? Well, we have Iowa going blue, you guys. All right. Well, you heard it here. Intuitively, I still feel Donald Trump narrowly winning, but we'll see with the pendulum who the winner is. But we'll write down Harris winning Iowa. All right, let's take a look at Kansas. My guides told me to keep an eye on Kansas, and I know that they had a poll that had Donald Trump up 5, but maybe there's something going on in a lot of these red states. You know, women being upset about abortion and their rights being taken away. So maybe some more rural voters turning out. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Kansas in the 2024 presidential election? Oh, wow. I'm getting a yes, you guys. That would be crazy. Getting a yes. Will Donald Trump win the state of Kansas in the 2024 presidential election? No. Wow. That's so weird. You would think with Iowa and Kansas turning, excuse me, turning blue, that it would be just a landslide. I guess we'll see tonight. I'm going to actually ask after I finish up a couple more states if we'll know the winner tonight. All right. Iowa is very much like Wisconsin. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brady says ex Kansan here, mind blown. Well, we'll see. DLC says, thanks for backing up what my pendulum's been showing me. Yeah, I did say Wisconsin. I felt Harris would win, but it being challenged. Oklahoma feels red to me, but we'll take a look at Oklahoma. And let's take a look at Missouri, too. And let's take a look at Indiana, since we have a lot of these rural states looking good for Harris. I know that Obama won Missouri and Indiana in 2008 and lost them in 2012. All right, I have Texas up next. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Texas in the 2024 presidential election? We're getting a yes, which is what I got last time, but I felt like she was going to be denied the votes. A very small yes. Will Donald Trump win the state of Texas in the 2024 presidential election? And he's getting a no. Very soft no. Will Kamala Harris be sworn in as the winner of Texas in the 2024 presidential election? Will she get the electoral votes from Texas? I'm getting a maybe, and every time it looks like it's starting to go yes, it like tilts back to no. And now it's saying no. Yeah, I'm telling you, we'll have to keep an eye on that. But I do feel like it being challenged, or they're able to throw out votes or something. And that is what I got 2 weeks ago when I read on it too. But I did get Allred being sworn in as their senator. Yeah, I think there will be a big fight in Texas. Can you imagine if Democrats won in Texas? They're not going to just let that go and be okay with that. All right, let's take a look at Arizona, Nevada, and then I have Oklahoma, Missouri, and Indiana. We'll check. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Arizona in the 2024 presidential election? I'm getting a yes. Arizona staying blue. Will Donald Trump win the state of Arizona in the 2024 presidential election? And we're getting a no. So it looks like Arizona stays blue. I know the early voting numbers out of Nevada have not been very good for Democrats, but I think a lot of independents are voting blue. But let's see what the pendulum says. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Nevada in the 2024 presidential election? We're getting a yes. Will Donald Trump win the state of Nevada in the 2024 presidential election? No. All right. So we have Harris sweeping all of the battleground states, which is awesome. Really awesome. Iowa, Kansas going blue, Texas going blue, but maybe not winning the actual votes or electoral votes. And we did have Florida and Ohio staying red. All right, you guys. So that sounds like a landslide to me. I don't know how it feels like for you all, but I'll be interested to see if we know the winner tonight. Yes, and Jimmy Carter made it, you guys. I felt like he was going to vote. I was unsure about if he would actually make it to the election, but I'm glad that he made it to his 100th birthday, if I remember correctly, right? Wasn't that a few weeks ago? All right. Oklahoma, I feel like is going to stay red, but we'll see what the pendulum says. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Oklahoma in the 2024 presidential election? I'm getting a no. Will Donald Trump win the state of Oklahoma in the 2024 presidential election? Yes. Yeah, Oklahoma feels like it's staying red. We got Lucas Kuntz winning in Missouri, but like by like a hair, it feels like. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Missouri in the 2024 presidential election? I'm getting a no for Harris on Missouri. Will Donald Trump win the state of Missouri in the 2024 presidential election? Yeah, I get Missouri staying with Trump, but I think it will be much closer than what it was the last election. All right, and then I have Indiana. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Indiana in the 2024 presidential election? I'm getting a no, but like a very small no. So Indiana actually might be a lot more competitive this time. Will Donald Trump win the state of Indiana in the 2024 presidential election? Yeah, I get Trump winning Indiana, you guys. All right. You guys, I don't read on what other readers are picking up. I can only share what I feel. Obviously, for Florida, I hope it flips blue. But when I read on it last time and I read on it this time, I got it going red. You know, I could very well be wrong, but I got to tell you what I'm picking up. All right. Any other states we want to look at? I already did the Senate races, you guys. You'll have to watch the replay. Oh, let's ask about Alaska. That's a good one. Because I think polling was close there too. Yeah, we can ask Nebraska too. I feel Virginia staying blue. All right, I'll look at Alaska and then Alaska and Nebraska, and then we'll move on to other races. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Alaska in the 2024 presidential election? I'm getting a no for Harris winning Alaska. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Nebraska in the 2024 presidential election? I'm getting a no. But it looks like Kansas and Iowa. She may win. Will Kamala Harris win the state of Utah in the 2024 presidential election? I'm getting a no. I feel Utah staying red. I already read on Ohio. I already read on that state, you guys. I got Trump winning Ohio. Yeah, well, I feel like with what we've picked up today, Kamala Harris will be well over 300 electoral votes, Brady. So, all right. Let's ask. Let's ask if we're going to know the winner tonight. Will we know the presidential winner today? Later tonight? Will we know who the winner is tonight? I'm getting a no. I think we'll have a pretty good idea, but like a soft no. Well, we know who won the presidential election tomorrow, Wednesday, November 6th. Well, we know who won on November 6th. I'm getting a yes, we'll know tomorrow. So it might be like late. It might be early in the morning. And now it's going back and forth. Well, we know who the winner is tomorrow, but will it be challenged? Will the election results be challenged? I'm getting a yes to that because the pendulum was going back and forth, like there was some uncertainty, but we should know. So we'll probably know early in the morning who's going to win, and then all the lawsuits and all of that come out of the woodwork. Susan Lynn said around 1 a.m. we'd know. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling kind of like in the middle of the night. So it'll probably be a late night for us all. All right, you guys, we got about 10, 15 minutes left. If you have any other races you want me to look at, just tell me if you want president, House, Senate, governor race, and give me the two candidates' name, okay? New Hampshire is going to be blue. Will Kamala Harris win the state of New Hampshire? I'm getting a yes. Oh, I think we looked at this last time. Let me see in my notes. We got a winner. I don't think I wrote it down, but I felt like the Democrat winning in that. I think Nez is the Democrat. Will Nez win the congressional race in Arizona? Will Nez win the congressional race in Arizona? I'm getting a very soft yes. It'll be close. Will Crane win the House race in Arizona? No, I feel Nez winning that race. And I do feel the House flipping blue. Looks like we keep the majority in the Senate and Kamala winning the White House. Okay. If you give me races, you guys, please include both candidates. Who's Vindman running against in Virginia? Will Vindman win the congressional race in Virginia? I think when I read on it before, I got a no, and I'm getting a no right now. Feels like it's really tight, though. We can ask. Will Kamala Harris be inaugurated on January 20th, 2025? Getting a yes, Karen. Yes, I do believe she'll be inaugurated on January 20th. I felt like Kamala Harris was going to win the popular vote by more than Joe Biden. I think he won it by like 7 million. I'm almost feeling like her winning by 10 million. Maybe a little bit higher. 10, 11, 12 million, something like that. Yes, we'll get rid of the electoral college, but it feels like it's more towards the end of this decade, early 2030s. All right. Let's take a look at Boebert's race. I think I read on it last time and I did feel like she was going to win, but a lot of these Congress people that were involved in January 6th will be getting their indictments, I feel like spring of next year. Will Kala Varsi win the congressional race in Colorado? I'm getting a no. Will Boebert win the Colorado House race? Yeah, I feel like Boebert wins it, unfortunately, you guys. Yeah, I read on this 2 weeks ago. I got Joyce Craig winning the governor race, but we'll see what the pendulum says today. Will Joyce Craig win the governor's race in New Hampshire? I'm getting a big yes for Joyce Craig. I believe I read on this last time too, and I got Mary Patola winning. Will Mary Patola win the Alaska congressional race? I'm getting a very small yes. I get Mary Patola winning. Will Avalon win the New York House race? I'm getting Avalon winning, Sherry. Feels like it's close, though. I feel New York saying blue, but we'll look. Will Kirsten Gillibrand win the New York Senate race? Yeah, I get Gillibrand winning. Who's MTG running against? I feel MTG is going to win. I'm sorry. I'll ask. Will Marjorie Taylor Greene win the Georgia House race in 2024? Yeah, I get her winning, you guys, but I don't feel she'll finish her term. She'll be indicted. Yep, I already did all of the Senate races, so you have to watch the replay. I do believe I did get Jackie Rosen winning, okay? Will Ferguson win the Washington state governor race? Will Ferguson win the governor's race in Washington? I'm getting a yes. Ferguson wins. I believe I got Mike Braun winning last time, Linda. Will Mike Braun win the Indiana governor race? Yeah, I'm sorry. I got Mike Braun winning. Is this a House race? Will Perez win the Washington House race in 2024? Will Perez win the Washington House race? I'm feeling Perez wins. I don't know if it's a Democrat or a Republican. Well, it'll be interesting. We have this all documented. So I think in the 2022 midterms, I think I got like 90% of the Senate races correct and 85% of the governor's race is correct. So we'll take a look. Hopefully, we better be right on a lot of these. Yeah, I feel good about it, you guys. Hey, Lori, good to see you. How are you doing, my friend? Lori, we'll have to do a show here soon, maybe after all this, the madness of the election settles. Will Salinas win the Oregon congressional race? Salinas win the Oregon congressional race. I'm getting a big yes to that, Sarah. I'm getting some rain from Raphael. Don't they have it's a tropical storm now, I believe, but I believe they're projecting it to be a hurricane and going more like northwest of the Gulf, like Louisiana, Texas. It doesn't feel like it's going to be catastrophic like some of the other storms we've gotten. Well, Sam Epler win the congressional race in Texas. I'm getting Epler winning. Here we go. Feels tight though. Will Beth Van Dyne win the congressional race in Texas? No, it feels like Epler. Oh, you're just getting some of the outer ring. Well, that's good. All right, you guys. So I think I'm going to end it here for today. We had some pretty interesting predictions come through. A couple surprising red states turning blue. Kansas, Iowa. Awesome. It'll be interesting to see how it all turns out. All right, everyone. All right. Well, we're here. It's election day finally. We've been talking about these races for months, years. So I don't know. Like I said, I feel very cautiously optimistic. I feel very calm and grounded with it. Um, like I said, I think we're definitely going to have some challenges, and it's going to be a bit of a bumpy November, maybe even early December. But it's all going to be good, you guys. Okay. I don't want you to worry. You know, it's here. So as long as we all go out and vote, get our friends and family out to vote, that's all we have. That's all that we're in control of. Okay. So take a breath. We've made it. We got a little bit of a road getting through some of the challenges, but I feel it's all going to be great in the end. Okay. So you all take care of yourself. Um, I think Mel should be on my channel Thursday night. So we'll focus in on obviously the election and maybe anything going on with that. I had to double check with him. And then for my members next Monday, let me get the date. November 11th, for my members, we're going to be doing our Reiki and Prayer Circle live stream at 7 p.m. Eastern. If anybody wants to join that, or a reminder for my members, we have that going on. And I think Susan Lynn will be on the 13th, next Wednesday, November 13th. Susan Lynn should be on. So I'll be here. I'm sure everybody else will be reading on everything going on with the election. So keep the faith, everyone. It's going to be great, okay? All right. Sending you all a lot of love, and I'll see you all real soon. All right. Take care.